It's cane burning season in Queensland, Australia, when farmers set the sugarcane alight to clear debris and excess leaves. Rats and toads flee for their lives, along with some of the most venomous snakes on the planet.
I've got a snake! Got a snake! It's a taipan! This is Australia's largest venomous snake. It's running from the flames just like everybody else here. But this is not the snake I've come all the way to Australia to find. The snake I'm looking for is much larger and much more elusive.
Ever since I can remember, I've been interested in dangerous and exotic wildlife. But for the past 10 years or so, I've earned my living from photography. Traveling from my home in southern Africa to the ends of the earth to photograph some of the rarest and deadliest creatures in the world. Queensland, northeastern Australia, home to some of the most venomous snakes in the world. It's also home to Australia's biggest snake, the amethystine python. I'm heading into tropical rainforest in search of a remote valley I've heard about, where large numbers of these pythons are said to congregate. The interesting thing about these snakes in this valley, because of the short period of sunshine each day, they're actually forced to climb to the very tops of these giant forest trees where they bask in the sun. I've heard reports of enormous amethystine pythons, up to 20 feet long, being spotted at the top of the rainforest canopy. It's unusual to find such big snakes so high up, and I want to be one of the first people ever to get a photograph of them, taken at their level, high up in the trees. But the location is treacherous. I've heard stories of people getting into this valley and not being able to get out. Some people have actually died in this valley. So I'm going to take my chance, take my camera, see if I can get to the tops of these trees, get these guys in their natural habitat. I'll take my chances, do my best. My journey started in Brisbane. I'm driving north, towards the rainforest that runs for some 300 miles, sandwiched between the coast and the great dividing range of mountains. The valley I'm heading for lies in the middle of this range, to the east of Mount Garnet. But before I enter the rainforest, I want to explore the arid land to the west, which is great snake country. However, to do this, I'm going to need a change of transport. The land to the west of the rainforest is known as the Atherton Tablelands. It's incredibly rugged terrain and teeming with wildlife. The best way to get across it and really see what's here is on horseback. Soon, I find myself crossing a flooded plain. It's unusual, but not impossible, to get freshwater crocodiles in this part of Queensland, so I've got to be careful. The water is so murky, it's impossible to see if there's anything down there, until it breaks the surface. My horse is spooked by my leap, but I managed to hold on. Fortunately, my horse quickly settles.
I got him. Look at that. It's a water python. Australian water python. Oh, look at this. Isn't this fantastic? You know, in the whole of Africa, there's only 3 species of python. In the whole of Africa. And here in Australia alone, there's about a dozen species. Each one more beautiful than the last. They're gorgeous snakes. Just make sure this guy doesn't take a nip out of me. Okay, look at his tummy. Isn't that a beautiful coloring? He's got like a butter yellow underneath. Unbelievable markings. And if you look on the top, as the sun shines on his body, it gets that iridescent glow like a rainbow color. That's fantastic. Like all pythons, this guy's got teeth. He's got about 100 teeth. He's capable of a bite. And they're quite powerful constrictors. Will grab his prey, curl around it and squeeze it and swallow it down. But there's no venom apparatus. It's not a snake to worry about. Even if he did bite you, it would be a painful wound, but nothing more to worry about. This guy seems pretty well behaved. He's quite happy for me to hold him like this. Just bring him really close. You can actually see his head and his tongue sticking out there. Oh, he's fantastic. This guy's probably about a good average size, about 2 meters, but they get a bit bigger. He might get 2.5, 3 meters sometime. I would guess that's almost 2 meters. Beautiful snake. Probably a lot of them in this dam. Sometimes you find these guys in large congregations together in a dam like this. Waits on the side of the water, prey comes to the side, grabs it, swallows it down. They'll eat quite big animals too. This guy could eat something like a large rat with no problem at all. No problem at all. Okay, so I've disturbed him now and I've got the horse quite upset. So I think the best thing is just to release him back into the water because he's obviously quite at home over here. So we'll just see how it goes. Put him down and watch him swim away because they're very good swimmers. So I'll just release him. Off you go, boy. Off you go. Which way you want to go? There he goes. There he goes.
The amethystine python grows much larger than the water python, with one specimen recorded at 28 feet. And there's only a handful of snakes in the world that grow over 20 feet. But unlike heavier-bodied giant snakes, this one can climb. In the dark rainforests, sometimes the snake needs to go into the treetops in search of sunlight and the fruit bats, possums and rats that they prey on. This is a non-venomous snake. Once it has its prey, it constricts it until it suffocates. Like the water python, the amethystine has an iridescent sheen, created by a substance in its skin called guanin. Tiny crystals refract the light, giving the snake a beautiful violet color, just like the semi-precious quartz it takes its name from. This magical sheen gave the python an important place in the legends of the indigenous Aborigine people. They believe that a creature called the rainbow snake created the valley I'm searching for. But they also say that if the mythical serpent is disturbed, it will cause violent storms and a great flood. I have to hope that the Valley of the Snakes I'm here to find is more than just a myth, and that giant amethystine pythons really can be found high in its forest canopy. I'm in Queensland looking for a valley of giant snakes located somewhere deep in Australia's tropical rainforest. But the road to the valley's secret location is long and arduous. First I must cross the cattle lands.
Oh, these guys can leap. Oh, that's fast. I want to pick him up without him getting it. Okay. All right. That's it. Look at that. Wow. That's an eastern brown. This is potentially one of the most dangerous snakes in Australia. Not only because it has a very powerful venom, but because it comes into rural areas, comes into contact with public, comes into contact with farms like this, even private houses, because these snakes hunt mice and frogs and lizards. Now, this is a good thing for the farmer because the snake's actually there to rid the farmer of all these rats and mice. But when a snake like this comes into contact with human habitation or domestic animals, and something can go wrong, someone could get bitten, or the snake could get killed by the people at the same time. A lot of dogs get bitten by snakes like this, and I think about at least half a dozen people get bitten by these snakes every year in Australia as well. Okay, I'll take him and release him now. There we go. Oops.
Every year, many farm animals fall victim to venomous snake bites. A stockman tells me that one of the biggest brown snakes he's ever seen has taken up residence in his barn and asks if I can help. It's most likely to be a king brown, a very deadly snake, often found in these parts. I head to the barn to find out.
What's the matter? What do you see? Tires are always something you've got to watch for. A snake can usually curl up right in a tile behind all this old foliage and stuff. Gosh, there's stuff in here. You never know. Nothing in there. This is an ideal place, of course. Anything could be anywhere in here. There's so much old grass and stuff. I can actually see nests where mice and rats have been pulling grass in. I can't stick my hands in so easily. I don't actually see anything there. Wow! Look at this! Oh, look at the size of this. It looks like a king brown snake. It looks like a king brown. Wow. Yeah, just look at this. I've got to be very careful because these snakes are really, really venomous. I got him. I got him. Wow! Wow! Look at the size of this guy. Oh man! Look at the size of the snake. I didn't know they get this big. Look at this. He's ginormous. It's a king brown snake. I mean, it's one of the best known Australian snakes and probably one of the most feared as well. These snakes cause a lot of deaths in this country, especially amongst people's pets and livestock. It's a snake that you'll find all over the country, and you'll find it under any conditions. And a barn like this, a disused barn with plenty of places to hide, is perfect because he has rats and mice in here. And look at this guy. He's fat as a tick. Look at this. He's solid, he's been eating well, so he's obviously getting a lot of good food in here. It was the obvious place for a snake like this to be. I mean, there could be more in here. And he's trying to go back in there. I must be careful because sometimes you find 2 or 3 together. Just make sure. Oh, he's got himself right underneath there again. There we go. Look at that. Look at the size of his head, man. He's enormous. You know, these are one of the biggest elapids, one of the biggest front fang snakes you actually get in the world. An interesting thing about these snakes, like most of the Australian front fang snakes, they have a very powerful neurotoxic and nerve-destroying poison. But these snakes are reputed to have incredibly powerful jaws with very large venom glands. And they're known to bite and actually hold on. Most snakes, especially leopards like cobras, mambas, whatever, will bite and release immediately. These guys are known to hold on and keep pumping venom. They have large muscles surrounding the venom glands. And if he holds on and keeps pumping, you can imagine, he can inject so much venom, makes it all that much more dangerous. He's really nice. You know what? Now I've got a flask that I carry with me that I'm very interested to see how much venom a snake like this would actually give off. Let me see if I can get to my flask. Okay. I think I should have it in here. Yeah. Now this flask is pretty small. I was expecting one of these Australian elapids to be a lot smaller than this. If I compare the head size there, I'd have to be very careful that he doesn't actually go and bite right over that flask and into my finger. Okay, let's just see if this is true, what they say about these snakes injecting so much venom. I'll just see if I'd rather take no chances and don't let him get close to me. He seems pretty placid. Oh, yeah, he's trying to come. Oops. Very careful. Got to get that head. Just got to get the head. There, got it. Okay. Wow, now he's a bit rattled. He didn't like that. He didn't like that at all, but I've got his head. Now you can see how big that head is. Look at it compared to my fingers. Oh, he's crossed now. He's crossed. You know, these snakes get mad. Sometimes they flatten their bodies out slightly and they go for you and they chase after you, almost like he's starting to become a cobra. Look at that. Now he's not very happy about this. So what I'm going to do is I have to get this body. He's twisting around quite a lot. Now I must be careful. He mustn't bite right over that. He must bite just into it. Let's see if we actually get venom going in here, and how much. Will you bite? Oh yeah, oh yes. Oh, there it's running down the side. There, wow. You can see, oh, it's very thick, syrupy yellow. You can actually see that. Oh, he's given a good bite. He's given a good bite. That's a lot of venom. Oh, that's a lot of venom. I mean, you think this guy needs 1 drop of venom to kill an adult human being. And they hold on, like I said, look at that. He doesn't let go. Now, normal cobra or some other snakes would basically let go immediately. This guy's mad now. He says, I'm going to bite and kill this thing. Look at that. He's got a grip on it. He's not even letting go of the flask. I can just hold him with one hand. That's amazing. I've never seen anything like that in my life. He doesn't want to know. And he's curling around me here and he's letting me know. I mean, come on, let go. I've got to get you to let go. Got to push him a bit forward, maybe. There we go. Got it out. Wow. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? Dark honey-colored, much darker than the snakes that I'm used to in Africa and other places. Sometimes they're much lighter yellow venom, much lighter color. That's fabulous. Look, he's bitten a hole right on the top of that. Unbelievable. He's got a powerful bite. What a snake, man. All right, so he's got himself in a bit of a knot, and I'm going to have to let go of his head so that I can get rid of him now. I don't want his head near me now. He's really angry. So the same as I usually do, I'm going to just drop the head away from me. There we go. Okay, without touching the ground. That's it. Look at the size of him. Now you can get an idea of how big he actually is. Isn't that tremendous? That is a fabulous snake. A fantastic snake. Powerful body as well. Comes straight up. Holds his own weight. See that? Don't hook around. If he hooks around like that, he can actually climb up. See that? You're going to do that for me? Watch him climb up. Climb up his own body, and that's a dangerous thing to do. All right, let me take him out. I'm going to let him go. You ready to go, boy? Let's then keep him away from me. Okay, off we go. Let him go, let him free. Out of this building. Come over here, come have a look at this, see what I found. Watch right down here in the leaves. Very well camouflaged, see this? Just got it, see that? You know what that is? That's an Australian death adder. You just got to be careful, they're a small snake, very feisty. Well camouflaged, blends in with the leaves. And the problem is, digs himself in like this, you don't see him, you might step on him and get bitten. There we go. There we go. Bring him out. Have a good look at him. There we go. Isn't that fantastic? Now this snake, called a death adder, is in fact not an adder at all. But it has all the characteristics of an adder. It's developed this over the years. It's got a short, squat, fat body, just like any adder you'd find anywhere in the world. If you look at the head, it's distinct from the neck. See that? All the other Australian snakes, the head just flows directly into the neck. This guy's definitely got a bulge on each side, giving the effect of an adder. It's also developed the accuracy that an adder has normally got, or is expected of. It strikes very quickly, very accurate, and bites and lets go. This is quite a good size too. They don't get much bigger than this. I think it might be safer if I take him behind the head first. Okay. Whoops, trying to bite me. See that? Not very good. I haven't got him in a very good position. Such a small snake, you've got to be very careful. Okay, it's better, it's safer that I'm holding him like that. Now I can show you the tail. It's actually darker at the tip, see that? And he just wiggles that tail from side to side when he's in the leaves, and just that tail is sticking out, wiggling a little bit like that, attracts the attention of a lizard or a little mouse, comes closer and wham, zaps onto him straight away. And as I'm holding him here, you can see very clearly on this side, it's very small, okay, it's very small, might just be able to have a look. You can actually see the little fangs over there, covered by sheath, just protruding from the top, see that? So, I'm going to have to let him go very quickly. Oops. All right, curls up straight away into that adder position. Everything to be an adder. Whoops, and I got him. I think I'll just put him back where he was, because it's quite a safe place. He's in the little hollow there.
so nothing's easily going to step onto him. I just noticed him as I went past. I just noticed the tail moving, and that's what attracted my attention. I'm going to put him back in there, and he'll bury himself very quickly under the leaves again. Put him down and watch him disappear. He actually sticks his nose right down and starts tunneling under. Fantastic. In a few minutes' time, he'll be gone completely. You won't see him. Just a few seconds and you don't see the snakes there. Isn't that fantastic? Okay, very interesting snake.
For relocating the snake away from the farm, the head stockman lets me stay the night in the barn. It's winter in Australia and the temperature here at night can fall to near freezing. But just as I'd got my campfire going, it began to rain. I check out the long-range weather forecast on my shortwave radio. It's not good news. I've been told that the steep valley I'm heading to floods when it rains. I remember the Aboriginal legend, disturb the great python and violent storms and floods will be its vengeance.